Hello and welcome into downtown Salina. We're at AJ's in the Alley where we are celebrating a Victory Tuesday for the Salina Liberty after they went on the road in Nashville and beat the Nashville Cats by 20 points this past Mother's Day weekend. Hope everybody had a fabulous Mother's Day weekend. I am here with first ballot IFL Hall of Famer, head coach Ron O'Neill. And you got now people, I've been saying this for 2 years. Finally, now you got the hardware to prove it.
Yes,
so
I do. For all the people
IFL.
that don't believe that it's here, it did come in. Thank you, Todd Tryon, commissioner of the IFL, good friend of mine, got me into the Hall of Fame. So thank you, and I'm showing it off tonight.
Stacking rings, man. Just stacking rings.
Just call me Thanos. That's what I am, collector of rings.
That is awesome, man. We're going to talk about the game, the 50-30 victory over Nashville, of course. We'll get you all up going for this weekend where you get to go home and play the Billings Outlaws for the first time as a Liberty head coach. Man, just how was your weekend? How was your Monday? We're here on a Tuesday, and we're going to try to do the show now Tuesday, depending on travel and schedule and things that are very fluid and dynamic right now. But this is the plan on being here at AJ's in the Alley every Tuesday. How are things the last few days?
Pretty crazy, so to say. I got the word probably a day or so ago that potentially we'll be playing Billings, so start preparing for them. Then I got the word from our ownership group that it's official. This is what we're going to do. Just didn't know the date. So talked with Stephen Titus a couple days ago, or I think it was yesterday, to figure out the actual date, what time, and all of those different things. So for me, it's kind of crazy because I'm going back, taking the bus back there for the 15, it's going to be at least 15, 16 hours on the bus. But to make sure we're there in enough time that maybe I can have a little bit more time with the family and everything. Also spend some more time with my wife and things because I haven't seen my wife or my daughters at all since end of March when we went to the league, what do they call it? It was like a league meeting that we had in Minneapolis.
I was going to say it's been almost 2 months, right?
Yeah, so just to have that opportunity to get back home to my family, Mama Nava and all of them, that's Nisha's mom that I can't wait for it because I know they're going to have some good food, taken care of because I'm a big man. I like to eat. And I know they're amazed at me because they're like, man, because I'm the only black guy in the family. They're Mexican. And just to see the food that they cook, and they always ask, is Haran coming or is he not coming? Because it's the workload is a little bit different. So definitely excited to get back, to see all the fans in Billings again in one spot. Potentially it's going to be some owners that's there that were my owners before when I was there in Billings, just to see the fans there. Looking forward to it. I haven't went against the Billings Outlaws before. I was not able to go to that other game. But this time I am able, and I'm super excited to get back there. They call it Rimrock now, but I still call it Metra. I'm going to always call it Metra, and that is home to me. And just to have it's a rumor that some of the owners may come up there so they can check out my crib and come over there and hang out with us.
Awesome.
And my wife has got food that she's going to be making for everybody. So I'm super excited about that, but I got a game to be more so prepared for and ready for. And now that we know who we're playing, Billings is a very tough team. Coach Cedric Walker is a great coach, Hall of Fame player, Hall of Fame coach. So we definitely got to come with our A game, and I definitely know how he's going to have his team prepared and ready to go. The city, I already know kind of what to expect since I've left Billings. It's been for a minute, so I already know. I've been back there in Colorado. I've been back there in different spots, so I already know how the crowd is going to kind of be and things. They're going to razz me some because they're Billings Outlaws fans, but after the game and before the game, it's going to be all love because they were a big part of what got me this Hall of Fame ring. Being the fans that they are, how they treat me and my family made me decide, well, I didn't decide, my wife decided that we're going to stay in Billings, and I didn't have any issue or any quarrel with it. Like the paper said yesterday, that's where my son caught his first fish at, there at Emerald Lake. I like to, camp, I like to hike, I like to do all those things that you can't do in Chicago that my wife introduced me to, and I fell in love with the city. So it's very emotional and special for me, but like I said in the paper, it's more so important to me because I get to see my wife and kids. I mean, that's what it's really all about, and we so happen to play a game, but that's my job, and people understand that once I get there, I'm going to be on business and understanding what I'm trying to do, which is trying to find a win.
I have your wife's digital friendship on Facebook, and every time she posts about those tamales, I'm sitting there thinking, how can I get those here? So, yeah, what a great, awesome opportunity for you. Let's talk about this past weekend. It was this week was a lot like last week. You found out Wednesday morning that you were going to go to Nashville for a game on Sunday on Mother's Day weekend, and you go into Nashville, and just the preparation for this had to be something for you to begin with. And you and I talk, and me and Coach Martinez talk a lot too, and Jorge tells me that road trips are special because not only do you get to spend time with each other, but you don't have a choice. a lot of times, and everybody is so crazy around here doing what everybody's got to do, but you get the guys on the bus and you spend some time together and you make the same stops and you go to different places together, and that in itself is a strengthening experience, and it could be a bonding experience that go a long ways.
Absolutely, and I think where he got that from is if you heard Peyton Manning when I think it was his Hall of Fame speech, or it was a speech that he made, and Coach Martinez told me about it. And I went back and I rewatched it, and he said that you'll forget a lot of things when it comes to football, but what you won't forget is road wins. That is something that you'll never forget, and the celebration of the times that you have. And I mean, I know this is for general public, but I can't say exactly what was going on. But my gosh, we partied like we were rock stars. I mean, all the way until about 3 hours left in the trip, and it was pretty much a 13-hour trip. So I'll let y'all let your imagination run wild. But it was a great time to bond with our team, because I always like to wait to 2 or 3 games before I start interjecting myself and our coaching with the players like that, to get to know them the way they need to be known. So this was very, very special. And like I told Coach right after the game was over, because I seen what was printed before the game. I heard what was said by people before the game. Crickets after the game, though. It's funny how that works when we're the CIF team that's, the small guy. And other people are bigger, better, and all of this because of whatever. And like my dad always taught me, we put our pants on one leg at a time, no matter who you are. And I'm never going to be intimidated. And Dan said it when he said we're going to go into the AFL and we got Coach O'Neal and he's not going back. I'm never going to back down. I don't care who we play. And I don't care what the schedule is. And I don't care when I get to know what the schedule is. I'm never going to make an excuse of, why we didn't do this. If we get beat, we get beat. That's part of football. But once I know who we're playing, we're going to devise a plan, and we're going to go out there and do the best we can to try to execute that plan to the highest, the units that we can, and let the chips fall as they may. But it was, to me, it's top 5 win in Salina Liberty history because of who we went against and what everybody was saying, so to say.
Yeah.
And now it's a whole different thing going on now. Everybody's saying different things now, which is very positive about our team. But I think what we did is earn some respect because nobody respected us at all. They thought we was going to go down there and get beat by 50 points and that we wasn't even semi-pro play. No, we're not semi-pro players. None of my players have ever been semi-pro players. These are pro football players that understand what the task is, and we got a bunch of young guys, but I got those, I call it the Magnificent Seven, which is our 7 players we brought back for this, that's been here and they understand how I get down. And then adding a Chuck, McCullum. You bring him in, that kind of changed, the whole dynamic of what we're doing. But we had a great, class as far as what we brought in that was new to Salina as well, that we've been battle tested. If you look at, Southwest Kansas, you look at Nashville, those 2 teams probably have the most XFL, USFL, NFL players on them. We just went through that gauntlet, and we have another gauntlet to go through with Billings because Cedric Walker got his guys. He's got a bunch of talent as well, and he's got great coaching. Cedric Bonner is the best arena football quarterback to probably ever play. I mean, it's between him and 3 other people. That's his offensive coordinator. And Coach Cedric Walker was one of the greatest defensive players that ever play football. So that's what he has, and he has two of my players that I coached on his O-line and D-line, Chris Turner and Mania Smith. Those are some of the best O-line and D-line guys I've ever coached. That's his O-line and D-line coach. So this is not going to be easy. Driving on that bus for 15, 16 hours is not going to be easy. Playing at Metro is not going to be easy. Playing at altitude. But those are all excuses. Like I said, excuses satisfy those who make it. I'm not making any of those.
We're going to get that in at least once every show this year, just because it makes my day. So you said a lot right there. First of all, when you say that you're not going to be intimidated and neither is your team, I feel like you just need to put that out there real quick.
For the people.
Yeah,
for the people.
Just as a reminder. Also, though, when you talk about the competition, the respect being earned, things like that, let's be honest here. We are in a melting pot right now of football, and everybody's kind of trying to get to know everybody. The 4 road trips to Omaha every year, we don't have those. It's not Sioux City. It's other teams from other aspects, and we talked about it after the Southwest Kansas game. The level of competition from where you were to where you are now is not the same. It is much, much better.
Yes.
So that being said, how do you feel like you are stacking up now with your football team? And I know this is a tough question because you've only had 2 games.
Right.
But as you are looking around and kind of watching other games, because it seems like there's a game on about every other night, as you are watching other teams, you are one of 4 right now that don't have a loss. So where do you think you are stacking up, and what are some of your thoughts about some other teams that have nothing to do with Salina at this point?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of great football teams out there, a lot of great coaches in this league. The thing that we're doing is we're not sitting soft on our laurels. Each game has been different players that's playing. Mm-hmm. This will be our 3rd game. We'll have some new players playing as well. I'm always looking to upgrade our roster any chance I get. Every year we have an influx of phone calls, text messages, Facebook, emails. Coach Martinez and I, because we do all of the recruiting.
Yeah.
We got so many in our inboxes and things. It's getting to a point where it's like, you take 10, I take 10 per day. That's how many people are starting to hit our inboxes and somehow finding out my phone number and things of that nature. So it's pretty cool to kind of just look through those people, look at their film, look at their bios, and pick what we need to help our team. We already have a great culture.
Yeah.
We already have our nucleus and things of that nature. We're just looking for a few good men to fill in the different spots that we need to fill in, which it's been pretty fun. And, I mean, we've done that each week we've played, and again, this won't be any different when we go up there to Billings.
And you say you're always looking to upgrade your roster, and I know that about you just because we've worked together for so long, but also that is a great, great thing to have too, because you don't know when you're going to enter that arena and 4 or 5 guys get hurt, and God forbid they play the same position. I mean, you don't ever know that. Then all of a sudden I've seen you coming in here to do coach a show on a Monday or Tuesday, and you're on the phone trying to get replacements and getting guys to come in. So that is important to have, isn't it? It's the guys sometimes that we don't see.
Exactly, that become superstars. And that's the thing that's crazy about this whole thing is, and I know it, people, it's only one player. We only have a 24-man roster now instead of 25-man roster. So, and I get it, that's only one player, but that is huge in what we're trying to do and figure out. So it makes it a little bit harder, because players have to be a little bit more versatile in what you bring in. You can't bring in one-dimensional players in this league because you have to go both ways, and you can't sit and wait as long as you usually would wait for talent to mature. They need to be ready to go when they get here, and if they're not ready to go, then you got a tough decision of, okay, we just brought you in, this is not working, we got to figure something out. So it's a little bit different in how we do things, and this year's been a lot different with the rule set, the different type player that you bring in, as well as how you coaching them up and things of that nature, because the turnover from team to team is crazy. Like, everybody wants to be in this league, and I know why. You're getting paid, so I get that. So, but just understanding and trying to figure out what their true motive is. Is it money, or are you trying to win a championship, trying to move up? Because those are 3 different things. The guys we want are guys that's trying to win a championship, one, about team, two, and then trying to move up as well. We got that. Like I said, I've moved up 64 players throughout this my 19th year. And I'll put that up there against any coach that's out there that's doing it right now, that you may have more and all of this other stuff, but we've got current players that can be testimonials to what I've done in my career and how we do it here in Salina, how I did it in Colorado, how I did it in Billings. It's a track record that's starting to show, and the more and more we able to do what we do, like what we did this past Sunday, the more Salina get put on the map. And that's the thing that I'm the most excited about. I don't care about me. I just want Salina to get their just due, because it's a hard-working city. I've been here for 6 years. I've seen it. I was here when we were this close from winning a championship. Something would happen, but we won that championship. And then, trying to sustain that and trying to bring, the people of Salina to gravitate what we're trying to do. And this year, this offseason, for the first time, I really seen it. You've seen it with the stands in our first home game, and you also seen it with our sponsorship money. I told Dan what my expectation was on when it came to, sponsorship money, of what it's going to take to be in the league of this magnitude and be ready for whatever. So when things happen in the first-year league, it's going to happen, good, bad, or indifferent. I was part of the IFL in 2009 when that started up. I mean, if you think about it, it was 24 teams there that started up in 2009. It's only one team left in the IFL. Just think about the turnover of that. So all we have to do is take care of what we can control, and our ownership group does that, and I think they did a great job of putting that press release out today. Yeah. I think that silenced a lot of people, but I also think it brought us fans that wasn't just in Salina. If you look at some of the comments and different things, these are people from all over the United States that say we're a stand-up organization, that they're going to honor the commitment of what they signed up for. It's not the players' fault all this other stuff is going on. We don't cry and whine about it. We're going to take care of our obligation as a Salina Liberty, and we're going to take care of what we can and what we can control. That's where it all starts at, is our ownership group. They put their money where their mouth is, and then they stand on business. That's the thing that I love about them. They always stand on business, and they always come together as a collective group. And when you do that, you're going to be successful no matter who you bring in.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that we've never been afraid to peel the curtain back here, not only with your team and what's going on within the walls, but also the ownership group has been extremely honest and forthcoming about information. And if you haven't been on Salina Liberty's Facebook page today and see what Coach O's talking about, it's a pretty good statement, and I think something that needed to be said. You don't want to come out and overreact, and I think there has been some of that. I think there's been some silence, which is also concerning to me. To me, this is somewhere in the middle. And we're going to have Dan on the next segment when we're done with you. We're only going to have two guests on tonight. We're going to have Coach O, and we're going to do our full segment with him, probably a little more. And then Dan Mendocino is going to come on. We're going to talk about ownership stuff. We're going to talk about AFL, the current status. There is actually a meeting going on right now about the status of the AFL and moving forward. We'll talk about what we know about that. So there is going to be some good information come out of this show here tonight. And so I'm glad you brought that up. A little bit of homework. If you haven't read that statement on the Salina Liberty Facebook page, go do it right now, because it's good, and I think it needed to be said. But this is the Coach O Show, and we got a victory to talk about when we come back. In Nashville, 50-30, the second win of the season for the Salina Liberty, now 2-0 on the season. We'll talk about that win. We'll talk about the team. We'll talk about individual performances. And that's all when we come back. We're at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. It's a Victory Tuesday with the Coach O Show right here on the Salina Post.
When pests have become too much, it's time to call Hassman Termite and Pest Control. With staff having over 150 years of combined experience, we offer all services for structural pests: termites, ants, roaches, spiders, crickets, mice, and bed bugs. In our 60th year of our family serving yours, give us a call or visit us on the web at hassmantermite.com or see us on Facebook.
For over 30 years, Ryan Roofing has been the area's leader in commercial roofing installation. Over 10 million square feet of Durolast roofing. Now, Ryan Roofing is expanding their expertise to the residential properties to better serve you and your home. Shingles, windows, siding, and gutters. Call Ryan Roofing in Salina today for a free roof assessment and get the expert advice you need. Ryan Roofing, serving commercial businesses in the area for over 30 years and now working for you on your residential property.
Spring cleaning time! A wonderful time of the year. Winter is over and hope springs eternal. You have the windows open. The birds are singing and you can't help but notice that smell. That awful smell. What is that? That is your septic system backing up into your home, making spring flowers smell, well, like a friendly reminder from Salina Septic Service. If you haven't had your septic system pumped out and cleaned in the last 3 years, you are asking for trouble. Salina Septic Service. You better call today.
There's a career for people on a mission. There's something for people who want more than a job, for those who have purpose, for those who want to meet challenges head on. A career for those who want to serve others and protect the innocent. For those who have high standards and want to be held accountable. This uniform, this badge, is earned. Visit khbjobs.org to learn more.
Back here at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina, we're having a lot of fun. Of course, pizzas, they got trivia, drinks, everything here. There's actually two really sides to this. There's a family fun center with a bowling alley. They have laser tag, all kinds of arcade games. We usually hang out here in the sports bar area where we can keep tabs on the games and get hydrated and have some food. And that 29-inch pizza, man, that is always a big hit. And we see the guys come down and tear that up from time to time. You're always welcome to join us live, or you can watch it right here on Salina Post. It's brought to you by Salina Medical Aesthetics and also the Salina Pain Clinic. 50-30, the Salina Liberty get their first road victory of the season. They moved to 2-0. They're one of 4 undefeated teams right now in the AFL. The biggest thing that pops out to me about this game, Coach, 37 points off of turnovers. You told me last week that you wanted to create chaos with your special teams and with your defense. I think it's fair to say that's what happened.
Yes, and the thing that's really getting overlooked in both of our games is our special teams. In that first game against Southwest Kansas, I'm so used to saying Dodge City, our kick return aspect controlled the whole game. The scheme that Coach Martinez put together was executed perfectly, and kickoff was excellent except for one play. Yeah. So special teams won that game right there. Yeah, we played pretty solid on the other side of the ball and all that, but special teams controlled it. This game, it was no different. Our special teams scored points. When your special teams score points, especially on kickoff, you're going to win a lot of football games. And then our defense did create turnovers, but it's all set up with our special teams. And you can't sit here and speak on the special teams if you don't speak about Jorge Martinez. He is the special teams coach. He spends countless hours coming up with different schemes, different personnel. He's always got different and new energetic ideas of what we want to do from week in to week out. So I want to spend this time to give him the credit that he rightfully deserves, because we would not be 2-0 if he wasn't doing the things that he do. And he's got to deal with me 24/7, so that's not easy at all. But for putting him in this new role, he didn't complain. He didn't whine about it. He just said, you know what, if I'm going to be in control of it, let me do what I do. And first 2 games against 2 very good opponents, he put a great scheme together, executed pretty much flawlessly. So I'm super excited for him. And I know he was a little nervous with this special teams thing, because that's not really his thing or whatever. Right. It's offense and defense, just like it is with me. But he's doing his thing, and it's percolating the right way, and I'm so excited for him.
What was your decision based on doing that? Because that's the first time I remember him having his hand on special teams, and I asked him last week when he was on the show about not being up in the booth and being up high and being down field level. It was weird seeing him down there. He told me that that's what his responsibility was now, and he talked a little bit about it. But what was your thought process of doing that?
Well, I got to have my assistant head coach right there next to me. I can't sit and wait for delays and everything. In this Arena Football League, it's a lot going on throughout the game. Not as much like the IFL or the CIF. And I don't have time to listen to this and listen to that. Like they always say, 80% of communication is nonverbal. And I'm a great read of facial expressions and things that lets me know I'm doing something right, I'm doing something wrong. You don't have to say a word. I've been around Coach Martinez for so long, I can tell his look let me know without him even saying what he feels. And I need that. I can't have him upstairs where I can't see that. So in this league, it's a lot more on me. So as you see, I divvied out things this year. I'm not calling the offense this year. Coach Carlos is doing a great job for us on the offensive side of the ball. I'm fortunate that he was available, that we were able to bring him in and bring in that championship pedigree, because he has a couple championships as well on the offense. So I don't want to downgrade that at all. But to have your assistant head coach right there where I can just, hey, or what we can look at each other and understand exactly what I'm trying to say. Maybe I don't even say it, but he understands. And we do that. And I didn't feel comfortable this year with him being up there because I needed to have him right there by me, because I didn't understand a lot of things that's going on. He helps me understand it. He knows me. He know when I'm getting all wound up. He'll say, take it easy. So things like that he could do, and sometimes he'll just grab you and just be like, he wouldn't be able to do that up there in that booth. So I think that was a major piece of our success, is having him back, down there. He's always been upstairs for me, as well as every time I've seen him, he's up there. But to have him right next to me, it's like my comfort zone. And with this going on, with all the different rules and things of that nature and substitutions and all this stuff, I want to make sure he's right there next to me, because he sees different things that I would never see, and he picks up on things that I would never see. So he's a huge part of our success, and I just needed him closer to me. So that's why we did that.
I've been up there in that booth with him, and it's weird for me to hear you say that he calms you down, because I've sat next to him in a lot of games. So that's a thing I'm trying to process a little bit. 50-30, the victory here. And, man, where do we start on this? Because this really seems like the classic case of offense, defense, special teams, does it not? I mean, Is this one of the most complete games you guys have had in a while? Yes.
If you look at it, we started off, they were up 9-0, I think, maybe by the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
They hit us in our nose a couple times, and just to see the players' reaction to it, though. There was no screaming, yelling, going crazy, pointing fingers, or anything. They knew they just had to buckle down, settle down. I think they understood the magnitude of the game, big market team. They heard what the fans were saying about them and all that stuff. And
they probably still thought you were from Salina.
Yeah, Salina, and my name is Heron.
Heron. I heard that too.
Yeah, and we're semi-pro and all this stuff, and we CIF and all. Like, again, I keep throwing that out there, but those are the things that motivate me, because that's what my post was about. I'm fighting for respect, because obviously they ain't heard about me. I guess I have done nothing in my 19 years, but maybe they know now. Like, this is what I do. This is what I've been born to do, and I've been waiting to unleash, and I can't wait to we get to practice for the first time this week and tomorrow, and get these boys ready to go and have a scheme put out there and manipulate it as we need to as the week go on. This is what I live for.
Yeah. Charles McCollum at the quarterback spot, it just felt like to me, and I'm ignorant of the situation because I'm not in practice and things like that, felt like the first game he was a little amped up. He was in front of the home crowd, first game with you on the offense. Everything kind of seemed like a little high, a little hot, maybe out of reach. But, man, he really turned it around in this game. 5 total touchdowns, 3 in the air, 2 on the ground, almost 200 yards passing. He really led this offense and really had a good game, I thought.
Right. The thing that I would say is, in his defense in that first game, he had 2 practices and 4 days. He didn't even know everybody's name. He didn't even understand some of the language in which we were giving him. So for him to go out there and still, battle through that and get us that win, huge. Now, giving us this extra time with him, that he's calming down. He's taking a little bit more of a control piece of it, being more of a leader. We're getting to know his personality, especially with this road trip. I mean, my gosh, I mean, it was pretty cool. So I think he's becoming more comfortable with what we're trying to do, and we're getting more comfortable with what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
He's played for a long time. He's played with, a legendary coach in Billy Back, one of the greatest coaches to ever coach indoor football. And that was his quarterback for all those championships that Billy had. I think he was the quarterback of every single one that he's had. So just that whole dynamic and us getting used to him and understanding how he operates. But he's taking more of a authoritative role each day because he's getting more and more comfortable with what we're doing, how we're trying to get a game plan executed. He has different ways of how to get that thing done. So that's always good when you have a quarterback that gives you feedback and tell you his ideas of what he thinks. I learned that with Chris Dixon, that you have to involve a great quarterback and make him own part of the play call sheet. So he's no different. He's a great quarterback as well. He's an MVP. He's a national champion, all-time IFL, NAL leader in passing yards, touchdowns, completions, and things of that nature. So I would be a fool not to listen to him. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. He's going to get even better in more time.
And that's kind of what I thought, too. This is game 2. Mm-hmm. And we talked about it last week, the difference between game 1 and game 2. Already saw it there with him. Yeah, for people that are looking at getting tickets, get them for the next game here on Memorial Day weekend. Scheduled right now for May 25th on the Saturday Memorial Day weekend, because he's worth the price of admission by himself. He's a guy. He is. You've had some really good quarterbacks. He's a guy. He's one of those guys.
Yes, he is.
With that, his receiving crew had a monster day. Tracy Brooks in the first game didn't get the ball in his hands a lot. I think he had one carry. The snap was bobbled on that play. Didn't really get involved a whole lot, but you found a way to get the ball in Tracy Brooks' hands. Also, his counterparts, Ed Smith, also D-Wash, man, what a monster day for all those guys.
Yeah, I mean, Tracy, 11 catches. D-Wash had 5 catches, and I think Fast Ed had 4. Everybody got in the end zone. So just to see it all incorporated, I can't take any credit for that. I give all that credit to Coach Martinez as well as Coach Carlos. They devised the game plan. I just looked it over and tinkered a couple, I think 2 or 3 plays. They came up with all of that. Coach Carlos is a great coach, man. He's very analytically smart. He played the position of quarterback. He played the position of wide receiver. So basically what I do that I haven't done since I've been in Salina is I trust the coaching staff that I have. My assistant head coach, Coach Martinez, and Coach Carlos, they came up with that. I can't take any credit for any of that. They did that masterful job, and I'm just hoping that is just the tip of the iceberg. I hope that is just the first peg in what we're trying to do to continue to grow and do the things we need to do offensively. But I got to give them all the credit for that.
You talked about getting out to a slow start. You were down 16-9, I think, at one point. Then you ripped off a 30-0 run before halftime. In a span of about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, you were able to do that. Go into the locker room on a high point, too. And these were situations where you would score and then score again on special teams. It was a 2-for-1 deal there for a while, wasn't it? Which was really impressive.
Well, when you have a kicker like Shane, I mean, this guy right here is special. He's from, I think, Dublin, Ireland. And, yeah, he talked a little funny to me. Everything is good day, mate.
Yeah.
And, cheers. I'm learning. But the things he did that I've never seen a team, as he kicks off and that ball going all crazy because it's hitting off the bars and all of this stuff, coming to the sideline, I'm seeing players that really had they just run off of there and greet him midfield.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything quite like it.
Yeah.
And I think it has a lot to do, yes, with his talent, because he is supremely talented. He has a leg that God has truly blessed that man with. And he's got, I call it a pitching wedge. For all you golfers out there, he know how to guide that thing in there on those field goals and extra points. That is magical. That how he could just blast the football and then how he can finesse the football and guide it. I haven't seen that too often in a kicker. So for all you scouts out there, we got one. We got one of the best kickers in this league, if not the best, and he's masterful in what he does, and he makes all of our job easier. But the way he was kicking the football, I think, was a big point of how we were able to double up things and be put in those positions. I got to give a lot of love to Shane and then his agent, Nick, as well, because without Nick, I would have never had Shane. So thank you, Nick. Shout out to you as well.
Shane McInerney is who you're talking about. He wasn't here for the first home game, joined you guys, and then went to Nashville with you. But you said you wanted to create chaos, and that's exactly what happened. I think there may have been some people in Tony's Pizza Event Center for your first game wondering what the new nets were and all the bars and all that stuff that had been assembled, because they really weren't used at all. But it's our opportunity to tell the fans that kickoffs are live off that net, passes are live off that net, and if you have a kicker that can knock it off that net and your coverage team's coming down at 1,000 miles an hour, it's going to be fun to watch, and there's opportunity there as well.
Absolutely. When you got people like D-Trey and RJ and Travis and Kellogg and, guys like that that's just flying down there head hunting, and that ball, you don't know where the ball is going to go. But if you're hustling down there, good things happen to teams that want to hustle. And I think that's what that was, is that ball, get up there, they can hit wherever. But if you don't have the guys hustling down there, then it doesn't mean anything. But the key piece is, like you said, we didn't use it in our first game. And it was a very unpopular choice, but, here. But I got to do what's good for the football team. I can't worry about how everybody else feel about it. Like I said, my skin is very, very thick when it comes to things like that. And I know we had some pretty good kickers. Not to say that they was not good kickers. They were good kickers, but they just at the point of what we're looking for, we needed something a little different. And I think now people are understanding what I meant when I said different. Yeah. And Shane is definitely different, and in a good way, in a very good way.
McInerney also nailed a 30-yard field goal to put 3 points on the board for you before you go into the locker room for halftime. So you have a big lead, and then second half it just kind of looked like classic Liberty. Like you leaned on your defense a little bit more. They put the clamps down. You were able to get a couple turnovers. Again, 37 points off turnovers in this game. There was a key drive, I thought, probably early fourth quarter-ish, that Nashville was driving. Could have got a touchdown there, but you got an interception there. Dontre Matthews had a couple turnovers that he took in this game, along with, like you said, 10 tackles. It just kind of seemed like classic Coach O defense there at the end, where you guys were able to turn it up and keep them out of the end zone.
Yep, and the thing about it, D-Trey's going to get all the stat and all the love because he did have 2 interceptions. He had a pick 6. He also had 10 interceptions, but take a look at that film and look what Kellogg was doing up front. Take a look at that film and see what Justin Foster was doing up front, and all the rest of our defense. Travis Taylor, they were causing chaos back there. Keontae, all of those guys played big. Big Carter, our big nose guard. All of those guys put major league pressure on these guys and forced these turnovers. It's not like the DB's just back there doing it. It's a total team collective effort there. Some pretty decent ball players that we have there that understand. They're still we do have a lot of young guys that's learning the scheme, and I think a lot of it has to do with having confidence in the scheme because they haven't been here over the past 5-6 years, so they don't really know me. They know of me, and I think when we get into those game situations and things come out the way that they did, it gains more confidence in them having more how can you say, love and respect of what I'm talking about. Like, it's something they can refer back to, like he does know what he's talking about. He ain't washed. He does know football. He is a Hall of Famer. Because sometimes people think you get old, you get washed and all that. Sometimes you got to show them.
We're the same age. You talked a little bit about Jeff Fisher, and I saw your face light up. I know the amount of respect that you have for him in the NFL, coach with the Titans. That's where most people know him from, coach with the Rams. Really had some good football teams. It seemed like they were defense-driven. He's a defensive guy. I saw that you got a picture with him on the field, and you had some conversations with him. What was that like for you?
Oh, my gosh. He was part of that 85 Bear team. He was a player. So that was something that you don't meet and walk around and see people like that in your normal days of walk. We had a good 15-minute conversation, and we talked about a lot of different things. Some of my guys that I know that I grew up with, Daryl Hill is a guy that is my brother Chauncey, his best friend from high school and college, went to Northern, played for Coach Fisher for 4 years as a wide receiver special teams guy there, played at Northern as well. So talking with him about that, talking about the 85 Bears, talking about the league, talking about myself a little bit because everybody know who he is. But just to kind of introduce myself and just pick his brain on a couple things and just talk. Just one football player and one football coach to another. Mad respect for him. He's a very brilliant man, and he's been successful in a lot of different things that he's done. To go from a player to being a coach to now, I'll let that be said later, of what's going on now. And, I mean, that is something that I'll take to my deathbed right there, is those conversations like that with people like that are special in my mind. And it was just so surreal. Like, you see this, and then I'm standing right next to Jeff. Like, are you kidding me? Like, and I was so, like, starstruck and everything. And then we finished our conversation. I was like, can I get a picture? I've never asked him, but can we get it? And absolutely. And, Cam, one of our equipment managers, is like my assistant too. He took the picture. He took like 3 or 4 of them, picked the best one. So, yeah, that was like a dream come true to meet an 85 Bear. That's how I became a Bear fan, is because of the 85 Bears and how they play football is, solid on offense, but the defense, special teams, that's how you win. That's how I mantra myself after that same thing. So to meet somebody that was a part of that team and went on to be a great NFL coach, and that's something I'll never forget.
It's amazing to me the amount of respect that people get, because he was the Rams coach since he was the Titans coach. And he is now back in Tennessee, in Nashville. And as we talked last week, my wife and I are in Nashville the last week of March, and we go to a Nashville Predators game. And during a hockey game, they show him up on the video board, and the place goes nuts.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just the kind of respect and the love that those people still have for him. They're in that community. So it's no secret why he's having success with the Nashville Cats. It makes sense. You can get a guy like that involved in your AFL team in Nashville. Man, it just makes too much sense. 50-30 this game, 2-0 now. You get to go back home. You get to go to Billings this week, a long road trip for you. Any concerns about fatigue or anything like that? Nobody likes to stack road trips back-to-back of any length. I mean, we can do Dodge City, Wichita, even Omaha all day long. But now you're going Nashville, you're turning around, you're going to Billings now on a long road trip. Any concerns about that? I know you try to get the guys off the bus frequently and make it where it's not heck, but
it's no need to complain about it. Again, the schedule is what it is. My coaching staff came up with a good plan of how we're going to attack this week, giving them the rest that they need in certain points, but also, making sure we get the work that we need to get done. We were in the weight room again today. Coach Martinez led that whole thing up and, get them back right, get them right, and understanding, go to practice, again tomorrow. And, that's what coaching comes in at. That's what they pay for when they bring in a coach team, is knowledge of understanding situations like this. Now, some of these situations I haven't been part of, but I've been around enough to know who to call to help me with that. This is my 19th year. It's not much I haven't seen. So to have 2 double-digit hours back-to-back on a road trip, I've done that. So I'm not going to make any excuses because, again, excuses satisfy those who make them, and nobody cares anyway. So get your team ready to go. Have them prepared as best you can. Put them on that bus. Let's go to work, and we'll arrive in Billings. And I just can't wait to see my wife, Nisha, my daughter, Mia, my other daughter. It's just that right there to me, seeing Mariah, Mia, Nisha. That's my little crew right there. My son is still in New Hampshire doing his football thing, but that's what I'm the most excited about. Yes, we play a football game, but just to get back for that, I didn't think that was going to even be a chance this year because they wasn't on the original schedule.
Right, yeah.
I'm loving that piece of it, and I can't wait to see my family because it's been way too long.
And they're not going to be alone.
Oh, no. Her family is deep. The Navas don't play. It's a bunch of them, and they're going to come out. They're going to show out. I got my friends. They going to be there. My boy Lamont, he going to be there. My boy Aaron Frampton, that's my barber. He cut me up, do his thing. But my boy Lamont and Teresa, they'll be there, and all of Nisha family. Like Coach Martinez said, that's his family. They all know him, and he came to my wedding. So it's going to be huge. I can't wait to see him and show the love, so to say.
Just in Rapid City when we were up there last year, there was a section over here to my right that was making a lot of noise.
Yes.
And I knew exactly who it was.
Oh, yeah. That's
so.
the family. And then, little David, Little Dangerous, I call him. He's a up-and-coming, football player, basketball, baseball. He's just trying baseball. That's my little nephew. So I think he's like 5 or 6 right now. And he loves D-Wash from the first day he met him, because he's the one that really inspired him to really do this gritty. So D-Wash promised me on the bus, I know I probably shouldn't say this, but on the bus he's going to do the gritty with him after the game, and I'm going to video it, and I'll probably put it up online as well. So just happy to be going home.
Yeah, it just sounds like a ton of fun, and I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy you got this experience. It was robbed from you a couple of years ago with that BS suspension that was handed down, but thankfully you get to do it now. You get to go to an arena that's fun. You get to look across the field, see that old logo that you used to put on, look up in your office and remember the tornado and all that stuff. Man, I am so happy that you get to do that. And hopefully next week we're back here talking about the same stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks again for having me.
Coach Ron O'Neill, IFL First Ballot Hall of Famer, going with the Liberty up into Billings this next week. Coming up next here on the Coach O Show, we will talk to Dan Mendocino. A lot of moving parts going on as we speak right now. It's the Coach O Show, streaming live on Salina Post, brought to you by Salina Medical Aesthetics.
It takes hard work, passion, and drive. It takes retraining your mind and your body. But once you do, you can't be stopped. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, here to get you back in the game.
For over 30 years, Ryan Roofing has been the area's leader in commercial roofing installation. Over 10 million square feet of Durolast roofing. Now, Ryan Roofing is expanding their expertise to the residential properties to better serve you and your home. Shingles, windows, siding, and gutters. Call Ryan Roofing in Salina today for a free roof assessment and get the expert advice you need. Ryan Roofing, serving commercial businesses in the area for over 30 years and now working for you on your residential property.
When pests have become too much, it's time to call Hassman Termite and Pest Control. With staff having over 150 years of combined experience, we offer all services for structural pests: termites, ants, roaches, spiders, crickets, mice, and bed bugs. In our 60th year of our family serving yours, give us a call or visit us on the web at hassmantermite.com or see us on Facebook.
It's a packed house down here at the Coach O Show as we talk Salina Liberty football. We're at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. We are going to be here now, I think, about every Tuesday, right, Dan?
Yeah, I think so.
We had a couple flexible dates. I think we did a Monday, then a Thursday last week. Now Tuesday, I think, will be our chosen day. That just cuts out. There's a lot of travel. It's hard to have a team to go to Nashville on a Sunday and then ask the coaches to come in on Monday. Yep. We don't touch Coach O on a Wednesday.
No.
Because he tries to take some time for himself, or this week he's probably going to be prepping for Billings. But, man, it's just it's a great atmosphere down here. There's people playing trivia. There's people having some drinks. There's people eating pizza. It's a great, great atmosphere down here at AJ's in the Alley. And you're welcome to join us live every single week. Or, of course, you can watch live here on Salina Post or watch the replay on salinapost.com as well. Dan Mendocino joins us now. And, boy, Dan, just a lot of moving parts. And I just felt the need to talk to you about a couple of different things. And as I said, I looked at my phone earlier to check time. There are meetings going on right now involving the current and future status of the Arena Football League. But I love what you guys put out on social today on your Facebook page. And I encourage if people haven't gone to read it, go to Facebook, look up Salina Liberty, and read the statement that was put out by you and your peers in the ownership group, because I think it just gives people, I don't want to say a calmness, but maybe some confidence of what's going on with the Salina Liberty. Because, again, like Coach O and I talked, I think there was a lot of stuff that was being said in a quick jerk reaction, and I'm not sure that's the right way to do it. I think there's nothing being said on some fronts, which I'm not sure that's the right way to do it.
Right.
You at least had some confidence to communicate with your fans, your players, your coaches, your sponsors, the community in general. And we can't just say Salina, because this is Central Kansas team.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a wide region that we're talking to here. But if somebody hasn't read it yet, what were you guys thinking behind that statement, and what did you want to portray?
You know, the last couple of weeks, as you mentioned, there's been a ton of meetings and a lot of moving parts. And we've been confident from day one. We did all the prep in the off season. You know, without getting into detail, there's quite some obligations that were not met by the league, and so be it. We're not going to talk about that now. We'll deal with that outside of social media. And that's what the statement also says. But, you know, from day one, we've been focused on ourselves. And 8th year as a franchise, we're pretty confident in the model that we have and all the different layers of the organization, what we need to do. That message is to try to calm some of the nerves of our players. First, we care about our players. I mean, some of the horror stories that we're reading online just is unbelievable. I mean, we know that they leave their families, and we don't take that lightly. And, you know, we mentioned that in our statement. 2 is, you know, everything we've always committed to our players, we've delivered. You know that up front. We don't offer the moon and the sun, but if we say we're going to do something, we've always delivered that. And I think the third piece of it is getting our ownership, or our coaching staff and our players, have them focus on game plan, have them focus on being a performer, and not having to worry about all the social media stuff. And then the final piece of it is to our sponsors. We're going to finish the season. We're not only going to finish the season, we expect to contend for the championship. And you saw a piece of that last Sunday. I mean, we are pretty excited about this team, and there's still some moving pieces that Coach O is always working on. We have a championship contention team here, and we expect to be in the championship game.
You guys, to me, and this is on the outside looking in, and I probably have a chance to get closer to you guys than what the general public does, but it's a classic case of under-promise and over-deliver.
That's right.
If you say something is going to happen, it absolutely is going to happen. There's probably going to be some other cool stuff that happens in there, too. I mean, you guys do a lot for the players. You make sure they're taken care of. And you're right. There are stories out there that you're reading that players are getting locked out of hotels, and they don't have any food, and they don't have any transportation. And I'm just, just knowing what we know here in the ownership group that I get to deal with, it blows my mind that could happen, first and foremost. But it also speaks to your preparation.
Yeah. The way I look at it, and I'm not a big social media guy. I don't have a Facebook page. I use my wife's Facebook, to look at the Liberty stuff. But, when the players sign a contract to come play for whether it's whatever organization with the AFL, it doesn't say a portion of it is coming from the league and a portion is coming from the team. There's a dollar amount that is owed to that player. They leave their families. They come a long distance. They've prepared in the off season. At the end of the day, that's our obligation to them, to take care of them, to give them a good place to stay, to feed them, and most importantly is to compensate them for the hard work. Because I wouldn't want to step on the field now with the talent level that's within this AFL.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the least we could do is to fulfill our obligation, and we expect to play in the championship. That's just the type of organization and franchise we built here. You know that, Devin. We don't come into a season thinking, we just want to get to the playoffs. We expect to contend whether we're at the CIF level, AFL level, whatever level we're at, we expect to contend for the championship, and there's no different this year.
As I said, there are meetings going on as we speak right now, and so there are a lot of these things we don't know, a lot of these things we can't speak on, but I think it is fair to say, knowing what we know when we started this coaches show tonight, this league and the Salina Liberty specifically, there's a light that is going on. It's getting brighter and brighter as far as positivity. And I think we can sit here and we can tell everybody. We can tell the sponsors, but we can also tell the fans, you better go get those tickets for Memorial Day weekend because it's going to be the classic Liberty get down.
You know, from day one, we've been committed to the AFL. I'm not a lawyer. I let those lawyers are a lot smarter than I am. I let them deal with all the legal issues that are out there right now, patent and all that good stuff. I don't worry about that. It will be worked out. We will be in the AFL. We will get what's supposedly coming to us. It may take some time, but you better get your tickets on the 25th. That's a special game, you know, where we really recognize our veterans. It's a military, you know, it's a cool thing we do at halftime. And we need our Liberty Nation to come out now and help support us because a lot of what was promised to us isn't coming through financially. So we're going to take care of it as an ownership group, but we need you more than ever to come buy tickets, come fill that arena up. It's going to be a special game.
Yeah, you buy the ticket, I promise the product you get is going to be mind-blowing because Coach O and I, again, we talked about it a little bit. We have a quarterback that is worth the price of admission. The offense that he has around him, the guys like Tracy Brooks and D-Wash and those guys, Ed Smith, that have been here since day one, Kelvin McCoy, you get to see those guys now shining, and they're moving the ball up and down. The defense is still going to just get better and better and better, which is scary. And now we have a special teams and a kicker that
unbelievable,
is super awesome to watch.
I mean, first of all, we got Coach O on the sideline, and you know, I like our chances anytime Coach O's on that sideline. Secondly, we've always prided ourselves on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, Coach O's has some of the best defenses in the CIF. But now we put this kicker from Ireland in there. I mean, the whole rebound net in the Arena League puts a whole new dimension to the game, right? And this guy banging him off the net and the ball bouncing all over. We had 2 touchdowns off special teams last week.
Yeah.
And offensively, Charles McCullum, you look at his stats of what he did last Sunday, you can't get much better than that. That's a 400-yard passing game on a 100-yard field, right? Yeah. I mean, the guy was quarterback ranking. I know they don't, or the percentage, they don't have that in our league, but he was taking what the defense was giving him, and he was dumping the ball off, and I mean, he was unbelievable in that game.
It's a little weird to me, but it's also the evolution of the game, right? And the way the AFL is played with the rule changes and stuff. We're used to seeing Tracy Brooks lining up in the backfield, direct handoff, but now it's kind of the long handoff and the pitches out where you're getting Tracy the ball on the perimeter. And I don't care who you are, man. You can be in that second level somewhere. You're getting tired of tackling Tracy Brooks.
I'm going to tell you what. I don't know how many catches he had, 10, 12, or whatever it was. But can you imagine being a defensive back, seeing him catch the ball 10 yards in front of you, having to go tackle him? I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, there's some exciting new guys on this team, too, that we're only going to get to know and just root for them as it goes. But as an ownership group with all the static going on, I know you guys do the best you can to shield that from the coaches and the players. You're letting them take care of their business, and that was kind of part of the statement that you had. You have to be pretty ecstatic right now with the product on the field, don't you? I mean, it's one of those things that you can sit here and battle your butt off, but when your team's 0-2, you're like, we're going to turn it around, but, man, you're in a good spot right now.
We love our team.
Yeah.
We love our team. We love where we're at. Coach O always builds the team you see big improvements from week 2 to week 5. And we love our team at week 2. We can only imagine what it's going to look like by week 5, week 6. I mean, this is a business. And that Coach O is always looking for how you upgrade certain positions. But I like our talent level right now. And I think this team is really the cohesiveness and the leadership we have within this team right now with some of our veterans. I feel really good. I mean, it was a David and Goliath matchup on Sunday. I mean, nobody gave us a chance. But I told my wife before the game, I feel good about going into that game. Not that I was bragging and was, my ego was too cocky that I couldn't see past what was going on. But I like our team right now. I really do, Devin.
50-30, that victory moves the Liberty to 2-0. Now Saturday at Billings. You might see online if you're watching some of the post. Remember, 6 o'clock is Mountain Time. It's 5 o'clock local time.
Correct.
That you really want to be engaged with that game. That's coming up Saturday at Coach O's hometown in Billings, Montana. So 5 o'clock Saturday, and then 2 weeks from now, almost a week and a half now, back here at home, Tony's Pizza Event Center. Saturday, May 25th is the scheduled game now. It is a very, very special Memorial Day weekend.
That's
A salute to the troops. And just this is something that you guys have always kind of, I don't want to say lucked into, but made it a point to request for scheduling. If you want one game at home other than the championship, it is this one. And it is the only game during the regular season. You guys do it up right. If you have a fan right now that's kind of reading some of the stuff online, and man, I don't know if I want to go spend that money. I don't know if I want to buy tickets. I don't know if the game's going to happen Saturday in Salina. What would you say to them?
I was going to say, first of all, it is going to happen. It is something that the ownership group takes great pride in. It's our way to give back to our servicemen and women that do so much for us, that give us the ability to play football games on Saturday or Sunday nights in our arena. It is a special evening. I get goosebumps thinking about it because it is such a special halftime. We want all the veterans to be there. We want to really recognize and appreciate what they do for us. But you're going to love the product on the field too. I'm telling you what, you're going to see a tremendous, tremendous football team. And, going to Billings this week, unbelievable team. Stephen Titus, he does a great job. Yeah. Of course, Coach O's hometown. He's got something to prove. It's going to be a tough battle. I like our chances, Devin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Great show. We'll do it again next week. Next Tuesday, of course, hopefully we're back here talking about another Victory Tuesday with the Salina Liberty again. They will play in Billings on Saturday at 5 o'clock. Coach O, Dan, boy, good show. Marching on, right? Continue to do the positive and doing what's right.
Appreciate it, Devin, and go Liberty.
Go Liberty. Back with more. We'll have the Coach O Show again next week. It's brought to you by Salina Medical Aesthetics and the Salina Pain Clinic every single week right here on Salina Post.